Hey guys, thought I'd do a video here for a couple of my guitar friends, old and new, Nathan, Luke, Keith, Don, anybody else out there to take a peek at what I do. This is just a practice drill that I do. My wife, she does it with me every day. And there's a lot of good instructors out there, much better than me, but I'm just showing you what kind of works for me and how it works. Scales. This is a movable Root 6, and you can Google that and find out the theory behind it, but basically it's the root of the 6th string that you're playing. So the first 4 right there would be, a G. So you're playing in a G. Now the way I memorize a scale, and everybody's different. I'll spend all day driving my truck, and I use my thumb and the tips of my fingers to memorize it. So like the movable Root 6, I use my thumb starting at the 6th string, thick one, down to the thin. And the way I memorize it, like this one, is I use the tip of my finger and I'll go 2 and 4, which will be the frets that I'll be using with my 2nd and 4th finger. 2, 4, and then this one happens to be 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, and 2. I memorize it that way, and then I memorize it backward because you got to do it up and down. 2 and 1, 4 and 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, and 2. And I do that all day, and that's how I memorize a scale. You don't have to have the guitar anywhere near, just have a printout of the scale and use your thumb as a reference, as a fretboard. And that's how I found to memorize a scale. So this is a movable Root 6. So what I'll do is start at the headstock, and I'll drop 1 fret at a time, not 4 frets, but 1 fret at a time, working my way down to the 12th fret. And as I do that, I take my pick and I go down with the first note, up with the next one, down with the next one, up with the next one, down with the next one, and so on. So you're doing that up and down with your pick. So that gets you a little bit used to the pick, a lot used to the pick. And if you've been doing anything on the first position only for a while and you're used to open chords, it gets you used to the habit of staying fretted the whole time if you're playing toward the neck. Because that is a habit you'll get into up here if you just stay in that first position. Another thing you do is when you're changing, like if you try to keep your wrist in the same position, stretch your fingers. When I started, I would do my wrist was all up and down. So one thing, focus on keeping your wrist in that position and just let your fingers move. And that helps with that. Now I do the pick, down and up, and I work my way to the 12th fret. Then I lay my pick down. Now I've lost my thumbnail, so this is not the best time for me to do this, but I go from the body back to the headstock. Classical style. So Google classical, which fingers are associated with which strings, and like the thumb I think is the first 2 or first 3. I kind of do, sometimes I'll do 2 and sometimes I do 3, and then you use your thumb and 3 fingers, and of course the 3rd finger is for the last one, next finger the 5th one, next one 4th one, and then the thumb, either the 3, just like I say, pull up a sketch on fingerstyle, watch the videos on that, and start doing that from the body back to the neck. Now what that does is eventually that opens the door for fingerstyle. And the just simple scale, just, and that's that do, re, mi effect you're looking for. But in time, that'll get to where you can play a lead. Just noodle with it And a lot of people go by the 6th string and the 5th string on the root. So, you know, if you're on the 5th string root with a C, it gets to where you can play with somebody, you know, just by doing the scales. A lot of theory behind a lot of stuff that you'll pick up on as you go. And it gives you something to do when you've got nothing to do. So what I mean by that, if you get up and you're really not in the mood to play guitar, you don't have a particular song you're learning, or you're just not in the real mood for it, but you want to keep that pace up of doing it every single day. Don't take a lot of time, maybe 20 minutes a day. That's the thing you need. So this gives you something to do when you've got nothing to do. If you just run through that drill, and there's other drills out there that you could pick up on, but this is just one that I've kind of stuck with. And it gets all 4 of your fingers toughened up with the strings, nice and even. Gets you used to your pick up and down. It gets you used to eventually to playing a little lead. And it also opens the door for fingerstyle. So it's a starting point for those 3 things. So I'm 6 minutes in here, kind of explained it. Now I'm going to get really boring and do it. You don't have to watch this, you can turn it off. But just to give you an idea of what what I'm talking about and how I do it. And it's a good exercise. Don't give up anything else you're doing, just add this to it. And if you do this, you'll get the time down pretty reasonable. So if you're playing 20, 30 minutes a day, this won't take up that much of your time, and it'll get your hand, ready to go. So, show you what I'm talking about. Like I say, this is the boring part, but it's a good exercise. Drop down 1 fret. Fret. And you do this 1 fret at a time, and I go to the 12th fret. Like I say, focus on keeping your wrist, same position. Let your fingers do the moving. Down and up. Now I lay my pick down, do my fingers, and that opens the door. For finger style. Should have timed it. And when you first start, you might think it's taking forever, and it'll feel extremely awkward. But it will open a lot of doors. messed up on that last one, but anyway, that's the gist of it. So, lost my signal there. I hope I'm still recording. So I'm over 10 minutes in. I think we got 15 minutes on YouTube. I mean, that was boring, but that gives you the gist of it. And then after you've been playing a while, you start learning picking patterns, and your finger style will start coming together. Satisfied I couldn't have got to the finger style without going through this drill. And then on the lead, it took me probably a year before it sounded like anything other than blunt, choppy notes. Never got to that without going through this drill. So it's something that's worked for me. Don't help much with your strumming, but it does help with that pick going up and down, toughen your fingers, keeping your wrist in one position, opening the door for finger style, opening the door for lead. It's a start. So give it a try, guys. If it feels awkward, don't worry about it. It's going to feel awkward for a while, but then it'll be a nice little practice drill that you can work into your regimen every day, and have a lot of fun with it. So hope this helps. Luke, give it a try on that acoustic. See what you think. Let me know. Bye, guys.